Hi guys, good afternoon. Today I'm going to go through the steps and show you how I make personalized magnets on my magnet making machine, as well as all the supplies needed to do so. So today's project, I am making brand specific magnets. So the customer works for Red Aspen, which is a nail company. And the thing with working with companies like this is you have to be brand specific. So I was limited to the colors that they provide the customer, as well as the fonts and logos. So if you're making something brand specific, doesn't matter what brand, it could be Pampered Chef, Amazon, Tupperware, any of those marketing brands, be sure to get the brand packet from your customer so that you can be brand specific so they're in compliance. That being said, the easiest way to make a customized magnet is using a photograph. So it could be a holiday trip or any special occasion that your customer wants to memorialize. So I print out the magnets in about 2.5 by 2 inch squares on my computer, because part of this color is going to wrap around to the side, which we'll show you here in a minute. Once I get them printed out, I cut them in strips of about 3 to 3.5 inches, and I put them through my paper cutter that I have. This cuts it specifically to the size and shape needed to place them perfectly in here. Okay. And now I can't get them out of here without crinkling them. There we go. Well, doggone it. All right, I'll just tip the machine. Sit down. There we go. Okay. So I just ordered new supplies, and the link to the supplies is in my link tree on the Amazon affiliate link. I get 100 of the metal squares, and they have the edging to the magnet and then a hollow back. Okay. That's what I'm going to place in first on the side with the indentation that holds that in so it doesn't move. Next, I'm going to place my magnet face on there that we cut out perfectly using our cutter. Now you could use scissors or even a paper cutter and then round your corners by hand, but it's a lot of work. So if you're doing a lot of magnets, you're going to want to go ahead and get the supplies. This I did get off Etsy, and I do not currently have a link for that. I possibly could get one, but if you want it, just email me or fill out the contact form on my link tree, and I'd be happy to get the information for you. I had a really good seller on that. Next, we're going to take one of the included, all of these products that we use to make magnets, they're all sold in a set. So you can't buy individually, like just the film for the top or anything, which I really wish you could. And maybe someday somebody will think of doing that. But right now you have to buy all the supplies together, which kind of makes it convenient, except if you ruin, a top or something, it would be nice to have a way to get just, however many you want. It also comes with these paper in the same size, which I never knew what was for. But I recently discovered that these papers are for if you want to draw your own artwork or let your children draw on them. And then you can make magnets out of your own artwork, which you can do in other ways. You can print your artwork and shrink it down, and, you can do it the same way you would a photo, but you can have it actually drawn on there. So you want to make sure that there's only one of these. They're really super thin, and they tend to get stuck together, and you can't tell just by looking at it. So make sure that you kind of rub it in between your fingers and that there's only one in there. So we're going to spin that around, and we're going to pull down on the clamp all the way. We don't have to be really hard about it. It just needs to go all the way down until you kind of feel resistance now. Okay? That exposes this half. So in this half, we're going to put the back on. Now the back to my machine looks like this, and you have the ability to put a pin in here. So you could make it a button, or you can make it a magnet by putting a magnet in the square, which is what I like doing. I am going to actually put the magnet on first before I put it in the machine. And the reason I do that is because then it gives a little bit support behind this piece. Well, these are some really good magnets this time. They've made them a lot thicker. So I'm just going to stick that magnet on that where that indentation was. This is a flat side. This side had a perfect indentation the size of the magnet. The reason I like to do it beforehand, not only does it help support it in the machine, but it also, if you have to push it on afterwards, sometimes it's almost like there's air trapped in between the front and the back. And when you push it, you kind of blow the sides out, and so they come uncrimped. So I like to just put it on first, and then I don't have to worry about pressing on the magnet like that or the air getting caught. So you're just going to set it in this well. It fits down in the well where you have metal up here around it. And now you're going to swing that. Now you'll notice when you swing that under, our magnet top is gone. It's stuck up in here, and the paper is already bent around it. And when this bottom piece gets underneath it, it's going to sandwich them together and latch them in. So I've got this all the way over now, and I'm going to just, again, go ahead and pull down that latch the entire way. I don't really need to use a lot of muscle. I do use two hands, just, I don't know, it's a mental thing. I don't have to. And then release it. Okay, and this one did not catch. What happened here? Let's see. I didn't notice that being defected. Let's try it again. That didn't work. Sometimes you can save the top. It's a little tricky. If not, I'll just reprint it. But it's actually kind of good that this happened because you can see there's two ways to do it. You can try to get it to go in the creases, or you can just uncrease it and lay it back on top. Now I talked about ruining stuff, right? This is one example of how you would ruin one of the tops, but maybe save the rest of the magnet. Because I could take this top off and try to save the paper. The front of the paper that's going to be exposed looks okay. The rest is just crimped where it's going to be anyway. But I'm going to try to save the top as well. So we're going to spin it back around and put this back in here. I'll give it a little extra crimp. That didn't sound good. Yeah. Oh, no. Almost. I should have replaced the top. So it almost worked, and I can probably still save the face of it, but because that top didn't lay nicely, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's coming up there. So if that happens, and like I said, this is good that it happened now, what I'm going to do is pull. I'm just prying apart right at the corner. Because if nothing else, I want to save my back and my magnet. And I almost have it off. Whoop. Okay, it's off, but in the process of removing it, I bent the top. The top wasn't bent. So I think I'm just going to start over on this one, honestly. I'll reprint it. So let's go ahead and do... No, that's too bent. I bent that one. Let's try it again. With our second image. These do feel thick this time. Sometimes if your paper's too thick or if your film is too thick, they won't crimp because there's not enough room. This feels thicker than normal, but as you can see, I am rubbing it together really strongly and there's nothing, they're not stuck together. Let's try it one more time. put my back in. These backs almost look different too. Hold on. So here's one of my older backs. This has no square on the flat side. I don't think I can get that out now. These have a square on the inside. I'm not sure that that's making a difference. I ordered from a different, but it could be. I mean, let's try it out. If it doesn't work on this one, I'm going to try one of my old backs, and honestly, I may have to return these. It might be a batch issue. Nope, that one worked. Okay, so there we go. That's how it should have happened the first time, but I'm glad that it didn't, because you got to see some troubleshooting, which is kind of a common, not common, but if you're going to have problems, this is the problem you're going to have, where it doesn't, they don't connect together, or the plastic doesn't connect for some reason. It wasn't maybe in there right. Maybe you've got 2 pieces of plastic on there, too thick of paper. You can't use photo paper. The only thing I've ever used, at least for these, the plastic cheap machines. Now the $1,000, $1,500 machines, I believe you can. But on these ones, you cannot. You can only use pretty much regular paper, which is fine. If you have a good printer, it's all you need. It doesn't need to be on photo paper. So this is trash, but here's a good one. And I always quality inspect, make sure there's no, everything got crimped well, okay? And we can see that it's a magnet, or that it's gonna stick good, stick into my paper cutter there. So that's the process, and these are the supplies. So you always have your metal top that your design goes over. Then you have your film, your clear film sheets that are next. And then on the flip side, literally, you have your backings, which are usually white, and either your pin or your magnet. If it is a pin, they should already come assembled in there or with them. You have to do the assembly before you put it in the machine, because once you put this on without a magnet, you'd be hard pressed to get a pin in the holes. So yeah, but both options are available. These machines also come in circular, rectangular. I've even seen a heart one. This is a cheaper machine. It only costs around $50, and the equipment is usually about 50 cents each. So for 100 supplies to make 100, it costs $50. So when I first bought it, I bought a $100 set and the machine, and it was $100 total. So 50 for the supplies and 50 for the machine. I've had it since December. It's now February. I use it quite a bit. I've made probably 500 magnets at least, and it still works just fine. I was going to upgrade, but I think I'm going to wait until I see how well they sell, because I'm just starting my business. But so far they're doing pretty good, and I haven't even had any shows yet. So leave a comment. Let me know if you want any other information. And again, all the supplies are in my link tree in the Amazon affiliate link. Thanks for watching.